What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about another guy who just recently came out and accused LeBron James of juicing, right, or taking I forgot what he called him, but performance performance enhancing drugs, right? And I don't know. There have been other people who have played 20 years who I don't believe took performance enhancing drugs. Like for instance, I don't think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar took performance enhancing drugs. Who else? Vince Carter played, over 20 years. I don't think he did. I think Karl Malone might have played close to around 20 years. I don't think he did. Or maybe he did. I don't know. I don't think so. Right. But I just think that the reason why people are really pointing to LeBron James and his juicing is, or they alleging that he's juicing or taking performance enhancing drugs. I think it's because of he's just somebody, in my opinion, who's not like a likable person, right? And the way he go about things, it's just that if he do have some skeletons in his closet, people going to people going to speak on it. I don't think that LeBron James, in my opinion, is if he is, I don't think that the steroids have really helped LeBron James. It might help them as far as longevity, but his on the court performance, I don't think has helped. I think even if you're taking steroids, I still think that you have to put in the work. So that's just like me taking steroids or anybody taking steroids and saying that you know they they're a professional basketball player. You still have to have the skills, and certain skills along LeBron James' career, he still didn't develop those, even though he may have been, he may have been on performance enhancing drugs, but that don't mean that his mid-range game is good. you know um he still can't play with his back to the basket, so I don't know how much, if he did take performance enhancing drugs, I don't know how much that has affected his game. But anyway, with that being said, this guy Korey Toomer is a ex NFL football player, right? And he mentioned LeBron James in his podcast and the steroids and everything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the audio and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give my input on what this guy said.
Squeaking now, thinking about just a meniscus tear.
Jerry's a true legend.
Hey, that brings me to another thing. LeBron on steroids.
Can you at least elaborate?
Yeah, give me some context.
Just
How old is LeBron? What was we just talking about? At 35, Jerry Rice did what? He
tore his ACL, still played.
right? And still plays.
He plays
LeBron,
football.
how old?
40. Playing basketball.
He don't even play all the games.
Now, we didn't have some pickup games. I'm 37. We had some pickup games. After the pickup games, I'm hurting, bro. Like bad.
But just think though, bro.
He's on something.
But just think.
Do that every
Just
day,
think.
He
What?
do that every.
He's
You-
on steroids.
He's
on them. Peptides.
I don't doubt it.
He's on them.
Uh,
They're letting him get away with it.
Why not?
Argue. They're
Why
letting
not?
him get away with taking steroids.
Why wouldn't we?
All right, so they say Korey Toomer believes that LeBron James is on steroids, and the league is allowing him to get away with it, right? I think that once LeBron James retire, if it comes out that he is on steroids, then the league probably won't mind because he'll be separated from the league. And even and now that I think about it, the league may want to protect LeBron James even after he retired, because if they allow it to come out, then that means that the league was, they was kind of responsible for allowing LeBron James to perpetrate this fraud for the fans. So I think maybe now that I think about it, maybe the league is in too deep where though they in bed with LeBron James. So if LeBron James is on steroids, I don't think that it's going to come out. Even when you think about like baseball, like the guys who, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, like those guys, like when they out the league, and so people still whisper about what they think that those guys did, but nobody's still not coming up with no proof. And I believe that once LeBron James leave the NBA, I don't think anybody's going to come up with any proof. The league, everybody it's just going to fade out, and because people won't have proof, people still think about Barry Bonds, alleging that he was on steroids, even though he never failed a test. Roger Clemens, they alleged that he was on steroids. I don't know if Roger Clemens failed a test or not, but I don't think the league is going to. I just think once LeBron James retire from basketball, once he retired from basketball, I think that I think those rumors will stay around, but I don't think no more proof is going to come out. I used to think that proof was going to come out, but then when I thought about it, I was like, it don't really make the league look good. It makes them look like they partly responsible. So they may just continue to help LeBron James cover up. If he is on steroids, they'll probably help LeBron James continue to cover up because it don't do them any good. LeBron James, in my opinion, has done so many other things to hurt his legacy. You don't need steroids on top of that, right? So most people don't believe that LeBron James is the GOAT. Most people believe that LeBron James hopping around from team to team, really didn't really didn't help him to get any better. It didn't do anything for basketball. Most people don't see LeBron James as somebody who is an ambassador for the sport. They see him like he benefited from basketball, but he didn't elevate basketball like most other superstars did. You can't you can't say that LeBron James elevated the game like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Isaiah. You don't see that same type of passion and energy from LeBron that you saw from those guys. You can't say that he elevated the game like Dr. J. Even though he had more rings than Dr. J, and I think he had more rings than Bird, but those guys just when they left the court, you knew that they left everything that they had on the court. And you don't get that you don't get that same impression from LeBron James, like he left everything on the court, like Kobe Bryant, and that Kobe Bryant said at one time he wasn't going to regret retiring because he know that he left everything he had on the court. And the fans, nobody can push back on a statement like that when you watch Kobe Bryant play over the years, and then you hear about from teammates and people around the league about how dedicated Kobe was to the game, right? And so that's what fans wanted from LeBron James. Like, if you're gonna call yourself the GOAT, at least have that type of dedication that Kobe had. Like, and you just didn't get that, and it showed on the court. It showed in his decision making as far as the things he did on the court. So the fact that or if he's juicing or not, I don't think that I don't think it made a difference. You had a couple other guys who played for years and years, and really, you still have to develop the skills. And like I said, he can't play with his back to the basket. He don't have a mid-range game to speak of. So like juicing, in my opinion, I'm starting. If he did juice, then he did it for. He was just wasting his money. Like, if you're not going to put the work in, you're not going to develop your game like that. Then what's the use of taking, enhancements? People say he juiced, almost to imply like that's what gave him his edge. When if you juice and you still lose, you still lose 6 out of 10 championships, then maybe you wasting your money. If you have 4 rings, and maybe I guess maybe he just wasted his money, in my opinion. So the juicing thing, I'm not even really concerned with that, because it didn't really benefit him if he did. So that you can say that, all right, if he didn't juice, then he probably would only have 2 rings or maybe just 3 rings. But so I don't know. I just don't think that the juicing really made a difference in LeBron James's career. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.